They sent a $2,100 invoice, called me a sponsor, then weaponized the police. When I said no, they used my LinkedIn photo without permission and expected me to fund a teenage gala. When I drew the line, they spun a story of threats and theft and tried to paint me as a danger to my own kid. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and have you ever had to cut off family like this? Hi, I'm Evan. I'm 33, a single dad, and last week the police showed up at my door because my mother didn't like that I said no. The call was about a welfare check for my son Leo. They said I was making threats, that I'd stolen family property, that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't safe to be around my own kid. Let me back up. It started with a party, not theirs, mine. I threw it for Leo, my kid who thinks I'm a wizard because I can untangle cords without cussing and who practices blowing out candles like it's a sport. 10 years old, double digits. That milestone deserved more than pizza and party hats, so I made it happen. Inflatable soccer goal, sheet cake with level 10 written in pixel font, blue streamers, folding chairs. The whole backyard looked like a low-budget birthday commercial, and I was proud of it. I'd invited everyone. My whole family. My mom said, "We'll be there, wouldn't miss it." Courtney, my sister, said Aunt Coco was bringing favors. Nate, my brother, texted, "Rolling through after the gym." I believed them. So when 2:00 hit and none of them showed, I waited. When 3:00 hit, I checked the group chat again. When the pizza came, I asked the driver to wait, just in case more mouths showed up. He looked at the yard, 6 kids, scattered shoes, a soccer ball stuck in the neighbor's hydrangeas, and said, "You're good." At 3:11 p.m., my phone buzzed. A message from my mom. "Don't be dramatic, it's just a kid's party." I stood next to a bowl of orange slices, reading that line over and over while something in me got very still. Not late, not sorry, not even a happy birthday. Just a casual dismissal like I'd overreacted by expecting them to come. Leo came over, cheeks pink from running, eyes bright. "Can we cut the cake?" "Of course," I said. We sang. He blew out his candles in one go, practiced. He smiled like the world was made of frosting. I clapped and handed out plates, and I didn't say a single word about the empty chairs. Not one. The next few days were the kind where everything looks normal on the outside, but inside, you're just rearranging pieces. I returned the borrowed chairs, deflated the goal, folded the banner into a shoebox and tucked it beside Leo's baby shoes. I told myself, it's fine, just a kid's party, let it go. But I didn't. Then came the text from my mother. Very important, RSVP by Wednesday. No greeting, no follow-up from the birthday no-show, just a demand. I opened the attachment. A PDF invitation for my niece's sweet 16, a photo of her in a tiara, a ballroom dripping with orchids, an ice sculpture, and this part I had to read twice. $2,100 per person. Venmo me, it said. I stared at it, slack-jawed. No mention of Leo. No acknowledgement of the party they skipped. Just a number and an expectation. And then I saw this line, so casual it burned. We'll need Evan to cover Grandma's spot too. She's on a fixed income. There it was again. That reflex assumption that I'd catch the bill. Like my name was a credit card. Courtney chimed in. We're all in. Coco can't do less than premium. Nate. Yo, do they have an open bar? If so, totally worth it. Evan, you got me and Jess, right? I didn't answer. I closed my phone. Took a long walk. When I got back, I opened that PDF again. This time, I saw it. At the bottom, in a glittery gold sponsor section, Evan Brooks, in honor of family. I hadn't paid a cent. I hadn't agreed to anything. Courtney had submitted my name and pulled my photo from LinkedIn. I stared at it like a punch had just landed. Not because of the money, but because of the presumption. The complete, arrogant confidence that I'd foot the bill and smile about it. That's when the math started in my head. The silent tally of all the things I've paid for, the court fees, the hosting bills, the groceries, the rides, the unpaid loans, the missed birthdays that somehow were my fault. And Leo? The one kid who still believed adults meant what they said? He got left with a half-eaten cake and a text that said he'd forget it. I opened Venmo, found my mom, sent $1. Note: congratulations. Then I changed the locks. 2 days later, they sent the cops to my door. I was rinsing dishes, Leo still in his pajamas on the couch, cartoon humming in the background, when a knock hit the door. Not friendly, not neighborly, not Amazon. I peeked through the peephole. 2 uniformed officers, one tall, one compact, both looking like they'd already had a long day. "Morning," the tall one said. "We're responding to a call." "What kind of call?" I asked, even though I knew. I knew because I know these people. "Family member reported concerns," he said. "Said you were making threats. Claimed you were withholding property. Also requested a welfare check for a minor at this address." Efficient. 3 accusations in 1 phone call. Unstable, thief, bad father. I had to give it to them. It was impressively tactical. I opened the door wide. "Come in." He stepped in, gave the living room a polite once-over. Clean floors, folded laundry. Leo on the couch with a bowl of cereal, spoon mid-air. Cartoon monkeys on the screen. Nothing looked dangerous, except, apparently, me. "Hey, buddy," the shorter one said to Leo. Leo waved with his spoon. "Hi." "Can we talk in the kitchen?" I asked. They followed me, one of them already flipping open a little notebook like we were reenacting a drama I didn't audition for. "This is about my mother and my sister," I said. "They didn't show up to my son's birthday. Then they sent me a bill for a 16-year-old's party that costs more than my car. I said no. I changed my locks. They didn't like that word." The tall one gave a sympathetic half-smile. "That tracks." They also listed me as a sponsor without asking. "I contacted the venue to remove my name. I have all the messages and screenshots." I slid my phone across the counter like it was Exhibit A. Photos, group chat texts, the party flyer, the $1 Venmo, the email to the venue, receipts, the universal language of the accused. He scrolled. "Any weapons in the house?" "Just butter knives," I said, dry. "And like 6 Lego swords." That got a smirk. "Any custody orders? Legal issues with the kid's mom?" "No, she's not in the picture. It's just me and Leo." The shorter officer looked toward the living room again. "Leo, you okay, buddy?" Leo gave a solemn thumbs up without even looking away from the screen. Bless him. "Property," the tall one said, reading off the report. "Caller stated you're withholding a family heirloom necklace." I blinked. "What?" Then it hit me. "You mean the spare house key?" "I changed the locks. That's what this is about." He raised his eyebrows. "We've seen it before. I can give you the old key if it makes this cleaner," I said. He waved that off. "No need. Here's the deal. Family gets used to a thing. Money, favors, help. Someone stops playing along. They panic. They call us. We make sure everyone's safe. Then we write a report that says so." "That'd be great," I said, feeling my spine loosen a little. "Also, can I log something on my side?" "Absolutely." I pulled up the email again. They submitted my name for a financial commitment without my consent. I've asked them in writing to stop. Just want that in a file somewhere. The shorter one nodded. "Paper trails help. Keep saving everything. If anyone shows up and won't leave, call us. Don't try to reason with them." I walked them to the door. They handed me a card. A simple white rectangle that said, "You are not the crazy one." Okay, not really, but that's how it felt. The next ping in my inbox was from the venue manager. "We have removed your name from all printed and digital materials. We apologize for the oversight." 1 string cut clean. I stood there, still barefoot, and realized I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Freedom is quieter than I expected. For 3 days, I waited for the blowback like you wait for a second wave at the beach. But it didn't come. Not all at once, anyway. Instead, the system rebooted in slow, desperate pulses. First, Courtney posted one of those vague but pointed Instagram stories. A pastel background. Some faux spiritual quote about protecting your peace from bitter energy. And in the caption, "Sometimes the people who owe you the most are the ones who scream about boundaries. Sad." No names. She didn't need them. Her followers ate it up like frosted cereal. "Preach. You don't deserve that. You're a queen." Meanwhile, Nate texted from a new number I hadn't blocked yet. "Jesus, man. Mom's crying. Can you just pay the deposit? We'll square up after. We're family." I blocked that one too. Then came Mom. She left a voicemail on my landline. The dusty one I never use except for utility companies and warranty scams. Her voice was tight, trying to sound wounded and righteous at the same time. "This is your mother. You're not well. Family doesn't do this. You embarrassed us. You embarrassed me. The police? Really?" And then she sniffed. The kind of sniff people do when they want you to know they've been crying, but not enough to mess up their mascara. I held the receiver away like it might bite. Then I unplugged it. But you know what happened after that? Something else. Something better. Quiet messages. From cousins I barely talked to. "I saw the invite. Are they serious? I'm sorry about Leo. That was messed up. If you need extra chairs next year, we've got folding ones." One even sent me a screenshot of the invite with 3 laughing emojis and, "That's not a sweet 16. That's a soft launch for a cult." Then the neighbor who'd loaned me the cooler knocked on my door holding a Tupperware of brownies. "I heard a bit," she said, not asking for details. "Just wanted to say, you fought the right fight." Like we were veterans. And maybe we were. My house felt different after that. Not just emotionally. Physically. Like when you finally move a couch that's been blocking the light and the whole room exhales. No one had a key but me. No more half-startled heart jumps when the phone buzzed. No passive-aggressive texts in the group chat. Just air. Leo noticed it too. In his way. That night, while brushing his teeth, he asked, "Are we mad at Grandma?" I turned off the tap, dried my hands, knelt beside him. "We're not mad," I said carefully. "We're just disappointed. And we're taking a break, like a timeout. But for grown-ups. The kind who forgot how to be kind." He stared at me with that solemn kid look like he was trying to solve a puzzle without all the edge pieces. Then he nodded. "Okay," he said. "As long as we still get cake on birthdays." "Every time," I promised. 2 days before the Sweet 16, my mother tried a tactic so obvious it could have worn a name tag. Olive branch, but make it gaslight. She sent a mass text labeled apology. It wasn't. It read like a press release written by someone who'd never met me. "Family is complicated. Sometimes schedules clash. We love Leo and we'll make it up to him. The Sweet 16 is important because of business connections. This is an investment. Please support. Also, Evan has been under stress, so let's not push him. Thank you." I stared at it, trying to find the apology part. I checked behind the words like it might be hiding. But no. There it was again. My son's birthday, flattened into a scheduling conflict. My refusal to bankroll a teenage vanity circus spun into stress, business connections, investment. I didn't realize my niece's DJ set and glow-in-the-dark chocolate fountain were hedge funds. That same night, the venue emailed me. "Hi, Mr. Brooks. We received a call from your mother stating you had recommitted to your sponsorship and would be paying the remaining balance. We wanted to confirm before proceeding." I stared at the screen like it had just insulted my furniture. Recommitted? I hadn't even committed. My name had been stapled onto their little gold tier list like I was a brand partnership. I replied fast. "Do not charge anything to my name. I have not authorized any sponsorship. If my name appears on any materials, I will pursue action. If my mother states otherwise, please request it in writing and forward it to me." The manager's reply was fast and formal. "Understood." I sat back, exhaled hard, and deleted the email with the subject line, "Important Dress Code Guidelines." I wasn't going. Leo wasn't going. No one in this house was going to set foot in a ballroom full of dry ice and denial. Instead, the night of the party, I took Leo to the park. We played HORSE until the sky turned orange. Every time he made a basket, he grinned like he'd invented gravity. He laughed so hard at one of his own shots that he missed the next two just from the giggles. We got milkshakes, sat in the car with the windows down, sang off-key to a song neither of us really knew the words to. And when we got home, he lined up his action figures and asked if we could watch a late movie. So we did. No tuxes, no overpriced sushi boats, no centerpieces carved from disappointment. Just joy. The real kind. The cheap kind. The kind that can't be invoiced. At 11:12 p.m., a text slid through. Not from the venue. Not from Mom. From Aunt Nora. They seated Grandma next to a fountain with dry ice and strobe lights. She said she couldn't see her food. Your sister spent half the night yelling at the florist, the DJ, and 2 waiters. When the bill came, nobody made eye contact with your mother. I'm home now. Just wanted you to know. You missed nothing. I looked at Leo, fast asleep with a chocolate mustache and 1 sock missing. I smiled. She was wrong. I missed everything I needed to miss. The days after the party felt like coming back from a long, loud concert where you finally remember what quiet sounds like. There were no texts, no new fake numbers, just silence, like they were regrouping, nursing their wounds and crafting the next guilt missile. But the funny thing about silence, it gives you time to actually hear yourself. And myself? I was done. I rearranged my life the way I rearranged my sock drawer when Leo was a baby. Aggressively, with purpose. I told my boss I couldn't take extra weekend coverage anymore. He nodded. Good, go be a dad. I labeled a sticky note on the fridge. Soccer camp scholarship deadline. Apply. And this time, I actually did. I started a new folder on my Google Drive called Receipts Boundaries. Every time a thought crept in, "You're being too harsh. Maybe just call and clear the air," I dropped another screenshot into the folder. The party flyer, the PDF invoice, the texts that forgot Leo existed, the voicemail where Mom's voice cracked like I was the one doing harm. It shut the thought right up. Then, on Thursday, something arrived in the mail that nearly cracked me open. A card, kid handwriting on the front, Sharpie balloon doodles inside. Dear Leo, happy birthday. Sorry we couldn't come. My mom said we had to go to a different party. I wanted the cake with the pixels. Emma, neighbor, taped inside. $2 single. Leo grinned like he'd just found treasure. She remembered the cake font, he said, eyes sparkling. I told her about it at recess. I snapped a picture of him holding the card, but I didn't send it. Not to Mom, not to Courtney. Just saved it, for myself, because not everything precious needs to be shared with people who don't value it. The next day, I checked the family group chat just once. Morbid curiosity. It was dead, like a burned-out marquee. No new plans, no follow-ups, just dust. I deleted it. Then I made a new one, just me and Leo. I called it The House of Level 10. Our banner, our rules. First message? Pixel cake next year, extra frosting. Invite list, only the people who actually show up. Leo sent back a thumbs-up gif of a raccoon in a party hat. The kind of RSVP I can work with. The next time the doorbell rang, it was a Sunday morning, and Leo and I were in the backyard making pancakes on the grill. It's a weird tradition. Started last year after I burned a whole batch indoors, and Leo, in all his 10-year-old brilliance, said, "Let's just cook everything outside. Everything tastes better in the wind." So now we do backyard breakfast once a month. Folding table, 2 camp chairs, batter in a mixing bowl with a spoon too big, and Leo DJing from a Bluetooth speaker with a playlist that swings between cartoon theme songs and whatever 80s synth pop he thinks is dad music. He was mid-pancake flip when the knock came. Not the kind of knock that says neighbor or mail, slower, heavier, like it wanted to be heard before it was answered. I wiped my hands on a towel, opened the door, and there she was. My mom. Not a call, not a text, not a voicemail laced with guilt glitter. A surprise drop-in, holding a bag like it was a peace treaty she hadn't read all the way through. She wore sunglasses, even though it was overcast. Her hair was done. Her mouth was tight. It was the face I remembered from every high school parent-teacher conference, where she cared more about what the teachers thought of her than what they thought of me. "I brought muffins," she said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Like 2 weeks ago, she hadn't sent cops to my door and told a venue I'd pay thousands for a teenager's spa-themed masquerade. I didn't say anything. I was too busy noticing the rest. How her voice trembled just enough to pretend to be vulnerable. How she didn't ask to come in. How she stood a step too far back like she knew this wasn't going to go her way. "Muffins for who?" I asked. She blinked. "For Leo." "Did he invite you?" "No, but I thought—" I stepped outside and pulled the door gently shut behind me. The porch boards creaked. The sun broke through the clouds, lighting up the sidewalk like a spotlight. "I'm not letting you come through the back door of my life with baked goods," I said. Her lips parted slightly, stunned. "You missed your grandson's birthday. Then you called it just a kid's party. You sent me an invoice for $2,000 and told people I'd pay it. You used my name without permission. You called the police, Mom. For what? Because I changed my locks and said no?" She tried to speak. I raised a hand. "This isn't a courtroom. You don't get rebuttal time. I'm not here for a speech, a tearful monologue, or a story about how hard things have been for you. I'm here to say, I remember everything, and I don't forget what people do when they think they can get away with it." The bag of muffins suddenly looked too heavy for her hand. Her voice came out smaller than usual. "You're really going to keep us out?" "I'm not keeping you out. I'm giving you a map back in. It's called accountability. If you can't use it, you don't get to visit this life anymore, especially not Leo's." She looked away. People like her never know what to do when the mirror doesn't flatter them. When the version of the story they've sold to everyone else doesn't get bought here. She set the muffin bag on the porch step. "If you ever change your mind, I won't," I said. She flinched like I'd slapped her with a feather dipped in truth. Then she turned and walked back to her car. No door slam, no dramatic exit. Just retreat. Like someone who finally realized the front row seat to my life was no longer reserved. I didn't touch the muffins. I went back to the backyard where Leo was licking batter off the spoon. "Who was it?" he asked. "Just a delivery," I said. We flipped more pancakes, topped them with whipped cream, and made ridiculous faces at each other until he nearly choked from laughing. After breakfast, I tossed the muffins in the trash. Not out of spite, out of understanding. Because you can't eat around mold. You throw out the whole batch. That night, Leo and I built a Lego fortress on the coffee table. Big walls, drawbridge, hidden compartments for minifigures. He called it Level 11. "We leveled up," he said proudly, holding it up like a trophy. "You bet we did," I said, and I took a photo. One for the drive, one for the fridge, one for the future. Because some moments don't need applause. They just need to be kept.